Chapter 13. Emma. It's really coming down out there, my dad says as he comes up to us. I glance over at one of the tall windows. Beyond it, large snowflakes are silently covering the world. We should probably get going. Jenna has her phone out. The pilot just texted. We can't wait too long if we want to take off tonight. We should go too. Daniel looks at his wife, slightly concerned. Before the roads get too bad. Around us, the rest of the guests also seem to notice the weather and the room is slowly emptying. Come on, Knightley, Noah pats his shoulder. Take us home. My car is still at your place, Julian says to Noah. After a few moments of chaos, it's decided that Knightley will drive Julian, Jenna, and Noah. Daniel is driving Haley and my father, which leaves me to take Edwin home. It doesn't look that bad, Edwin says as we wait for the car. But if you want, I can drive. I shake my head. I don't mind. I've driven in this kind of weather before. We rush out to the car, and I take a moment to arrange my dress and change my shoes. In this weather, I don't want to drive in heels. Edwin takes a deep breath, and I think he's going to say something, but he doesn't. I navigate out onto the road and wonder if I should dim the lights. The snow is flying towards us as we drive, creating almost a tunnel effect. So, Edwin says. There was? Do you want to listen to music? I'd rather not, I say and slow down as we reach an intersection. Right. He takes a deep breath again and turns slightly towards me. Then he exhales and looks out his window. I wanted to. This looks like really heavy snow, I say, interrupting him. He's acting strange. And I have a feeling I do not want to hear whatever he has to say. Yes? There's something I need to say. He shifts towards me in his seat. I change gears and for a moment, I think he's about to place his hand on mine. I quickly pull it away. Yes? I don't want to hear this. First off, I have noticed your efforts lately. Shit. He knows I've been trying to set him up. Does he not like Hannah? And I appreciate it. His eyes burn uncomfortably on my cheek. I am not one to speak easily of emotions, but after meeting your father, I feel it's only appropriate for me to mention something. What's that? I say suspiciously, wishing I could drive faster. I want you to know that your feelings don't go unanswered. My feelings? Yes. I hear you loud and clear and I like you too. You like me? I blink out at the road. Yes. I think we would make a great couple. And I think I've been clear about my intentions of finding a serious relationship while at UNI. Wait a minute, I interrupt him again. You like me? Not Hannah. Hannah? Why would I like Hannah? No, I only have eyes for you. I'm falling in love with you. I liked you already at Bulls, and when we ran into each other at uni, I knew it was fate. Please shut up. I hold out a hand at him and take a few deep breaths. This is so much worse than I imagined. I glance over and there's a sly smile on his lips. I wasn't sure until tonight how you feel. But after having you introduce me to your family, I knew I had to reciprocate. But Hannah is all I can say. Yes, very clever. Making me think it was a group thing. But Hannah conveniently falling ill was another thing that tipped me off. I probably should have figured it out sooner. But I hope we haven't wasted too much time. So, how about we have a proper date next week? I'm gaping at the road. His words echo through me, and as he lays it all out, I for the first time see it from his perspective. I thought you liked Hannah. Hannah? How could I even look at her when she's next to you? In a room of 100 women, my eyes would always be drawn to you. But you were nice to her, called her smart. She's your friend. And I was letting her know she didn't have to stay in the study group. But why are we talking about Hannah when we could talk about us? No. I'm sorry. I shake my head and realize he's just asked me out and is waiting for an answer. I think there's been some misunderstanding. I thought you liked Hannah. What you've interpreted as me being interested in you was actually me trying to set you up with Hannah. You're lying. He smiles. Are you shy all of a sudden? Because you don't have to be. I will gladly let you be my girlfriend. What? No. I don't want that. I barely like you as a friend. I have no thoughts of dating you or falling in love with anyone. I'm sorry if I've been sending the wrong message, but this will not happen. It's as if the light from the street lamps suddenly stops reaching into the car. A layer of darkness settles over us and he goes still. You're serious? I nod. He inhales deeply and stares straight ahead. It's a cruel game you're playing, he finally says as we turn onto his street. It's not. I want to tell him it's not a game, but the words won't come out. Instead, I pull up outside of his house and he gets out. There is no goodbye, no smile, no look back towards me as I drive off. On the short ride back to my dad's, I can feel a headache starting. How was I supposed to know he would misinterpret every move I made? And if he liked me already when we went to Bulls High, then maybe I was fighting for a lost cause this whole time. I run our conversation through my head over and over, until I park outside my dad's house. My head hurts and my insides are in turmoil. I'm getting a stomachache from all of this. How did this happen?
Chapter 14. Knightley. The snow is coming down in large heavy flakes outside. The kind that silence the world. As we get back to the winters, I'm on edge. Somehow, Emma ended up driving Edwin home. I tell myself that she's a good driver and knows to be safe. But it's still a relief when her car stops in front of the house. Until I see her face. Oh good, there's Emma, Richard says as he looks past me out the window. He hands me a mug of hot chocolate that Haley and Daniel made. I take a small sip as she comes in through the door, shaking snow off her coat and kicking off her shoes. I'll get you some hot chocolate, Richard says, and heads for the kitchen without waiting for a reply. Her face is pale and she's shivering slightly. Her dress leaves her shoulders bare, and I can see goosebumps along her arms. What's wrong? I ask. She shakes her head but doesn't look at me. Nothing. I have a headache. It's been a long night. Are you sure? The smile she forces to her lips might fool a stranger, but I know it for what it is. A lie. And it makes my chest feel tight. Here you go, Richard says, and hands her a mug. She takes it. Thank you. Haley found some oatmeal cookies. I think I'm just going to go to bed. She raises her mug and grabs her skirt with the other hand, holding it up as she heads for the stairs. Good night, sweetheart. Good night, Dad. I sip my chocolate and follow Richard into the kitchen. Noah is sitting by the counter, munching on cookies. Daniel is refilling Haley's mug, casting worried glances in her direction as she sighs. Here. Noah holds out the plate of cookies for me, and I grab one. Your mom must be happy to have you home over the holidays, Richard says. She is. I think she has something special planned. She keeps dropping hints. Oh, Richard grins. I think I know. But I won't say. It's a surprise. I finish the cookie and the chocolate as the conversation turns to Haley's pregnancy, and what the odds are they could name the baby Noah, no matter what gender it is. When the pricking impatience is too much to bear, I slide out of my seat and silently leave the kitchen. I take the stairs in a few steps and soon find myself in front of Emma's door. I try to knock gently, in case she's already asleep. There's a soft answer from inside, and I only hesitate a heartbeat before opening the door. Knightley. She's in her pajamas, standing by the window with her arms crossed. Her hair is in a messy bun on top of her head, and her face is clean of makeup. In the light from the street lamps, snowflakes seem to appear out of nowhere as they slowly float downward. Something happened, didn't it? I have trouble getting the words out. What do you mean? Her voice is lifeless. You know what I mean. I take another step into the room and close the door behind me. She sighs and sits on her bed. I've seen her bedroom before. I think I've been here a few times when we were younger. It's bright and feminine, with hints of soft pink and muted green. It's a large room with a queen-size bed, a desk under one window, and a large white dresser. But somehow it feels small. Intimate. It's just a headache, she says and reaches back for a stuffed unicorn. She hugs the unicorn to her chest. I blink. I remember the unicorn. Her, Noah and I had been at a carnival. Noah challenged me to a shooting game. I won that unicorn. I remember thinking there was no way I was going to walk around with something so girly, so I handed it to her. She smiled so brightly I was glad I won. Did Edwin try something? I force out the words and I can tell my voice is too dark. It takes all my strength to let my hands hang open by my sides. She looks up, mouth open. Then she shakes her head and I can breathe again. No, nothing like that. Then what? Tell me. As I say the words, I realize I have no right to know. She's not mine to protect, at least no more than I would protect any other friend. She tries a sad smile. Are you worried about your bet? I don't give a fuck about the bet. Something made you upset. It's late. Her hand rubs across her face. I just want to go to bed. As she stands and pulls back the blanket, an image of me holding her as she falls asleep flashes in my mind. I can see the sadness on her face and I want to hold her tightly against me, tight enough for her to know that I'd take any or all of that feeling away from her if I could. But instead, I turn to the door. On the threshold, I stop. I look back over my shoulder and smile. I just want to know if I should go beat Edwin up or not. A joke. It's not a good one, but it makes her smile. No, there's no need for that. If there was, I would beat him up myself. I huff. With what muscles? She tosses a small pink pillow at me, and I duck out and close the door. But I saw her smile. I made her smile. She's lying, though. Something happened, and it made her sad. She was fine when we left the party, so it must have been something with Edwin. Which means he made her sad. I never liked the guy in the first place, and why Emma wants to be friends with him is beyond me. I bite back a growl and head back to the kitchen to say good night to everybody before I head home.